Nonsia Bohaya Adom 106.3 Ensra 104.5 and Afri stations Bebro Oha Ghana Fanadie Wamafaka Seboya Twapete baby Yadi Hodum na yeno badi na sane penny Adom was she a swama de Pabiati Sano pay Techemada Bojum Moje dear for Senia I said and ye de Emani Dinisama Yadebano Drosson dear Dimwa Quotine Mampani Mahama say 1 year sa and Tumuna ECG for Diaba 225% when your munya jene na washasa subaba from Kra Ibida Obete
Sado Mampani Echem Sabano Yantu Tianis who said ya beya Sidia Wadin and Yamanosika Entumisiano Obama Ejina and you say be paid and move him.
Na Mampani dia tu just say wadwen sa wote social media no so TikTok oni ade to betumi akasakasa ebo man e den tokwaba no fa ho dia won be hwehwe wo betewo emrane ne obedi
Oswafo a wohwe ema ne asetram yedie hu sam so e kire se wode se gu akwan so se de be ya ema ye betumi akanya won na ba omane punto ne kankra wode won ho asem bi
ensem ne bi e ka we hu ne yaboaboa do de nyina e bre se no sia be mu kase bo na kai se MTN eSIM or say download the MTN app no in fact ukwa MTN app no so a ade bia we bia na e smooth nya fe na star ho no bo we na bo we da bi we no watete so aba wonya kwa MTN app no so a betu ato credit Sendisika, the opesa we be a detenino, a one man abayano, and to be downloaded will play store as app store. Now when a year Adom 4 Edijuma and na app no so no MTN eSIM a bojuma hodum na Kingdom Herbal Center. Kingdom say what the enraba your Kingdom garlic capsules and bitters, Kingdom ginseng park capsules and na tremendous capsules are Ninina no Kingdom and a diaba Kingdom also no challenger or yadiano a yadia way or kwa betwasie. Na a na wonu said ya etie no afi so kai say enwuma kwa hodro big touch Lawson Herbal Center Lawson say eni wadanda nyomani wodi nupa na abadwama so enti say ye kasai e Lawson Herbal mixer Lawson local mixer and na Lawson delay man capsules no wonu say yes mema drono na aba no enupa eboa emu ahoto na sinomi noodles de wo say Ghana e kobodo na ate ho ato adwenwen bo modi akofa sinomi noodles no ti anofa gu so mu Aben the enjoyment na no any sinomi noodles anu so de wo mo beef e wo chicken and na spicy flavors ni nyina bi wo hodom 0243 399 999 time herbal mixer adupa etu malaria na se wonu ma to ntumi enidi anasa honam yawo time etu ase dudom na peso tuton dia freyen 0244 417 669 na ne time mpanyifo eni kobo na DBS Industries Limited o se yatete so o amunchichemu enum edu eni dunum wo ba DBS je beto niema wo betumi nya sa entiso no age DBS nkwa na ema sei na Eco Bank se the Pan African Bank e ma hotoso wo du sika to hodmo a odwade bekoso usika de bede ye no anya mu faso de eno ane Eco Bank na Papa Franco nie was a phone Papa Panie Franco Trading Enterprise mobile phone ho accessories air condition TV set CCTV cameras in ano Papa Franco akofa biaba download the Franco Trading app no e wo Google Play Store na wonyo mo enidwa enma kwin na boye chidom edin a memeje so ene Abena Opokua Ahweneɛ anopemene
Baffuor Owiredu-Amoh
and the edin semi ebre wo doctor sign e boye chidom yensa senchemu no yemfama ho
Adom FM.
Yes, sasia ye fiti o Mampani John Mahama na kachine na tena ye pe ena eja eda wo de hyese wo ne samtwefo esia wo sasie ebu o manyi abosume nwotwemunie na wo hya samtwefo eba ye manta hodo na bi mo ka ho enkran ha ene menim station ko a wo so wanya na musini amadwumadie na se na ensembisa samtwefo de Mampani na wo yi ho ano no ene ye ECG ene entumu a wo mo epeso munya enchichemu 225 haroni adudu num ena omo de beto enkane aboso na PURC ebesin konwa na omatete so abedu ba bia ye den antumu ne de ebeba no Mampani che so no de sa 225% de wonyo nya adwene na mom no wakire de se de ebe ne se hyehyɛ no ete ene sinto a abanti a ya na ewo se Ghana fo boa abane boa na isi nyexika e de ye adwuma
200 and something percent, but I know interest PURC budget to say omuntimi into electricity tariffs musa ombehwe enyoma eko electricity production mu to say fuel ne sa nyoma ni na ansana omahwe senya omo de tariff no besi na emrepi no at the frontier your tariffs akosro ne se nipa bebre entua enti wo hwe ECG say your case commercial and technical losses are almost 42%. I just say of electricity almost ton omutimi eje ehun aketua of only about 58%.
And I would say, I don't tell my penny John Mahaman Semo and no what you know what she say. As I said, no, I won't say easy, maybe a tremunum. Now, woman, your my a city trasty and koye, a kahumba dear cat, a better hodomono. Was so mad than your money or master someone more hona. What shall say, woman, Juma, one more ebeyano, a bit in a year, now a cababy by yana ebano, a subete.
Na ankawiase afanabia se wo ye dwumabiana bibia wo tombia wonya just return of 58% anka by now edwuma nagu nso akoya aban de se ekire so na aban abeboa ekire so na aban abeboa enti afi de ya sesa omo hwe edwuma no so na ya kenya omo se omo sorry na omo nante na nia onkrofo mu wia iram kania no ni adini na yenchechi omo na yentwe omo aso efise se yen na atwa ebema ebo na bafom enti eye edwuma ye beguso aye
Amampani John Dramani Mahama enra wone semtwefo hie mo nya semtwefo bisa na wayi no emu no ye bini
Amampani John Dramani Mahama ekasa ya na ode ensem etudwa na efa ye sidi no ho ene ensem no bi no ene se de asa sidi no na ho ade no san tikofem no mampani Abena de gu akwan so asesei ase eya tia kwa amasidi no ahode no ko ekofam bio no ena wo kire mu ese eye ensa ayede egu akwan so no ede ayede ayadwuma na mom ne du ba bia na sese wo nsoso se ne wayere wo nsem no sese wo biem kakra fi se ekoba ne sa wa omamufo adwadifo no ne ade won ne ma ode kode ode ba no ne ade no ni nyina ema business ensa ahodo no etumi eye basa ne santi ena ase ehunu ba bi na mom no ayade ebedu ba bi ne besan agina.
What happened was that because of the rapid appreciation in the value of the cedi, we saw an exponential increase in imports because then people could buy cheaper dollars and so they could import more, which is a natural economic phenomenon. But on the other side, exporters are not happy because they get less cedis for what they export. And so every country tries to find out a balance where exporters are able to do good business and importers are not overburdened by high forex rates. Where that lies, I don't know. I'm not a central bank. But the cedi is making an adjustment, and I believe that it will settle at a certain rate, and we will make sure that any depreciation that occurs in the value of the cedi is within a margin of about 5% per annum. That is what we target. And so for now, there's still speculation. It's also coincided with a period where we saw a reduction of 50% in remittances.
Obamperi etwaso ebio ena wo kire mu ese baby a wodi ejina na ne wo hwedi mu ase anya yie kura na fie bia no sidi na ho odi beti abafam kura ohantem numpe na ekoba te se de afie atwam na si ya ohantem aduonu num ne de a na ya akwa hadwene eba no sa ban ne toto ne ma wodo a ema obre ebam.
We recognize a very steep appreciation in the value of the cedi in response to the reforms that we were carrying out. And for those of you who listened to me, there was one occasion where I said, people were asking whether it will go below 10. And I said, it is dropping, but it will find its true value. It was undervalued at 16, and it probably is overvalued at 10. But somewhere between there, we have the real value of the cedi. And so I believe that it is about stopping rapid depreciation of the currency. Almost every currency would realize either depreciation or appreciation in the course of a year. But when you have steep depreciation of about, like we had in 2024, 25% depreciation in the currency in the first half of the year, it makes planning difficult. And so, yes, Bank of Ghana has been intervening in the forex market, but they've withdrawn.
Obampani ewie wo sidi hu no kire mu se eba no se na sidi no na ho ode no epeja na dollar na ho ode no ekofem na ne Ghana fo ene woni adehye owo amonone a wode kakra ba fie mu si da ma me yento sumint ma me munyina ne sika ho aduro ni ade nyina ba no saa no na won so abama bu di kire se sidi no apagya dollar no na ekofam ti no me ha me fento me bu ase na me hwede bekoso.
Citizens in the diaspora were taken aback by the rapid appreciation of the cedi. And so if somebody was building a house, if he was going to send $100,000, it meant that he was losing a certain percentage of that 100,000. And most of them would decide to adopt a wait and see attitude and say, oh no, as for cedi, it's not possible that the cedi can regain its value to that extent. By all means, it will go up again. So I'll hold back my remittance until the cedi goes back up. So we saw a 50% reduction, but there were also some other factors. There were some money transfer companies that were collecting dollars abroad and not repatriating the dollars. There were other which were investigating. There were other cases where people applied through the commercial banks for foreign exchange to cover imports. And those monies are transferred to pay for imports, but the
Omampani John Dramani Mama and your tin kan yemwayo or the far city no ho na yeti.
Yentu aso na yeguso agina mampani dwumadi enura wode hyehyɛ so wo sa nkrofo ni pebiti TikTok ni social media so o madwiri mu de baabi o mo se na wo mo eka wo mo nsam no obi ehu o makira kwan wo hyehyɛ mo kra wo hu wom mampani sa wo bowa wo sa hefa na ati social media TikTok na wo kasa eboman kasa edintokwa ba kasa etiti nipa mu mampani sa ha ho sase ye kasai no wo mo de asudie no ama National Signal Bureau ya wo mo de ne se ba bia se bia wo be hwe wakira kwan te ye so wada wo na igu abonten ye so wata oboa wo hu da honom o mampani se obi ya wo IP sa IP ni mampani se won betumi adi akira ba be hunu sa wo na ate computer ti wo Adom hayi ni afa ne de wakọ wo se emra wo mamu a etia sade no nte ye so wadwane a ene oboa won be hwe wakira kwan wo mo betew tu pa wo ko app no so na wo ya wo ne ma enko kansem bia eye amambo yensem edititi mu ba na se edintokwa eba.
This falls in the ambit of the National Signals Bureau. And so the National Signals Bureau now has the technology to use your IP number and find you wherever you are. So I'm sending a signal to Ghanaians that we can find you those doing those hate speech and things. We'll use your IP number, we'll trace you. And when we trace you, we'll deal with you under the criminal code for inciting violence and disturbance of the peace. But I believe that beyond that, we must start making regulation for this new media because it's unregulated. And so anybody just takes a phone and says, oh, this plane crash, I wish that so and so had been the one in the helicopter and had died, and dwarfs have eaten him in the forest. I mean, why would you say something like that? And so we need regulation for that new emerging media. But in the meantime, the National Signals Bureau has been given the full authority to track down people who do that kind of thing and bring them to be sanctioned under the criminal code.
Ena te se mampani echi mu no wati ase o si sa niema na ekoso na te social media ekeka no eno no eye criminal code no anase criminal offences act no etia saso ne ban no ne sakasa no nti so mafo eye ahweye na wasanso exercise nei obi kita mobile phone osem ye blogger ene obehu anu wa watwa na wodi atum na watwa na wodi atum wasesafo de nyina no ebraso a ewo se eseseye ne emra eba na oma wo mu hunu kwan a mo befa so a wo mo ebedi mo adwuma na se ne nipa bia so mo eman edeso babone adi e wo social media no so no enye ne kwan no.
A new crop of I'll call them neo journalists, who anybody with a phone and a camera can report news or comments on national issues. Now the point is, who holds those people responsible? And that's what he's saying. If you go to some of the WhatsApp platforms or you go to some of the commentaries in the TikToks and others, we have what we call hate speech, incitement to violence. Those are criminal. Despite the fact that we have removed the criminal libel laws, there are some laws that make such people accountable. Because if we don't regulate that sector, it can lead this nation to war. There are some of the incendiary statements that have been made in the Boko situation that are fueling some of what is happening there, making people hate each other and see each other as enemies.
Amampani temu a wode bed no nti boko na ne aboko ntokwa esori dindindin no wache se nsem ne bi kura kwa social media no na bi wachire ene senkrofo ahoroba nkrofo bo a enam so emane de kwa wie babi a ekwa wie ye no
yɛhwɛ nsɛm foforɔ nsɛm kɛseɛ bi akɔ so a nsɛm no wɔhyehyɛ de aboa mma atumi akɔnkan na wɔde wɔn ho agye mpuntuo ne kankorɔ emu ɛno ɛna di ɛda so no ɛyɛ sɛ bills conference a ɛyɛ academic women foundation ɛna di anim a wɔhyehyɛ wɔto nsa ɛfrɛ ɔsoafo a wɔhwɛ mmaa nkwadaa ɛne asetenam yɛdie ho nsɛm maame Agnes na Momolate ɛma ɔkɔkasa waseɛ na ne sɛm ɔka nyinaa no ne sɛ behia papapa sɛ nyinaa bɛboa ama mmaa akɔnkan adwuma mu na wo apia ɔbaa baabi biara a wɔ no yɛnhyehyɛ bɛboa ma Emma Abenim or the Asda any bam Cassia Emma Mame na Professor Nana Jeno Opokua or Mampania Bedia say, Babia Munaway any did kind of bar or your Mampania Bedia Abedi or Mayanim.
I reaffirm government's unwavering commitment to ensuring that women are not left behind or on the sidelines for development. A landmark step has been taken with the recent passage and launch of Ghana's Affirmative Gender Equity Act 2024, Act 1121. This legislation is a game changer and it takes to increase women's representation in politics, governance, and public life. It also seeks to ensure equal opportunities in appointments, employment, and leadership. It seeks to break down systemic barriers that have kept women out of the decision-making spaces and advance gender equality as a constitutional and developmental imperative. This act is not just another policy on paper. It is a ladder, one that lifts women from margins into the decision-making spaces where their voices have been missing for far too long. Alongside this act, government policies and programs continue to expand access to quality education.
Mabe Agnes na Momolate or your swafo or share and koda a year de ho ensem the kasa na cheno and a penimpa Otu Academic Women Foundation and Dr. Adetumama and so edibitu to no say yansa e ma ahoden ma wonyini enkonkane emwa wo mano empuntuomu.
The country young girls or say to young girls out there is that anything is possible. They can do it. And there are a lot of role models there. We know there's still a long way to go, but there's still a good number of role models out there for us to look up to, for them to look up to. For example, we are role models today. We are also looking up to others as well. We've had Professor Lydia Aziato come to speak. I'm an academic, so I look up to her. I know it's possible for me to also be at the top there. And any young girl listening to us today should make up her mind that, or should know that she can be an engineer, she can be a doctor, she can be a lawyer, a teacher, a lecturer, or whatever she sets up her mind to do.
Dr. Adetumama, a founder Emma Academic Women Foundation.
Na medewo ekwa GPLT wo mo kasempuna epunu ewo manye asentuade ne asenjumade a ekoso ewo ha na ase ye kasei no wo mo ediato aboso kan spare parts fo nanimu se wo mama wo mo na wotwe o na wotwe wo mo tete ne ma boso kan na nyabo tane na wotwe pepa ye kwa aboso kan je se ebi mo nya wo madwense ne ma no wo mo eteso na no na GPLT se na wotwe se wo mo anti spare parts ne so ewo hon mo dia en na ebe pia wo mo so asenkafo na omo atu anamo a anamo mo betu atie de wo mo enka ho asem na yeko yenim ye kase ba hodu mu no ye ne GPT fo bekasa na afie bisa emu ensem ye de omo enka se aboso kan spare pass no wo mo tete so Kaisa Lawson Herbal Center ebo ye tidom Sinomi Noodles atachire na Time Herbal Mixer DBS Industries Ecobank na Franco Trading enyumakoi na boa yen ma ye de kaseboy ebrewom na Steven Chumasi Ankra wase enedie mampani edwane o dwane fratem didie ho ne de ode to hanonom na Kofi Parliament so de nie wase news no loud and clear ewo Agona Bobikuma apa ono so de nonom na DJ Solis wase ne mampani wase kane mampani dabi mampani mahama wase omomodian na ne firstborn no wo US no wo to the fo social media ne sem keka bia ekoso ya na enye no wone no enkasa na Pastor Mario wase nipa baako mate ye na se ye we ene ye de wusi na pai edin a memeje so ene Abena Opokua Ahweneɛ mene
Baffuor Owiredu-Amoh